In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a track created by one of my viewers here on Studio Live today, here in GarageBand. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to Studio Live today, where I help you create, record and release your best music. So if that sounds like the sort of thing you're into, consider subscribing. Today, we've got something very special. This is a track that was sent to me by an artist called Veeny, and this is a song called Only Insane, which is being released in just over a week's time. So keep an eye on the channel. I'll make sure I let you know when it's out. So what I wanted to do today is take a look, because I love learning from other people. So what I'm going to do is go through the track here. We're going to take a look at how it was put together here in GarageBand. It's a very different style to the sort of track that I produce, and that is why I wanted to show it to you today. And I'm also going to give a couple of tips for what I would do if I was producing this track as well. So let's dive in now and take a look. Let's start by taking a quick listen to this track and hearing what we've got going on here. So we're going to hit play. So it's really good, a really nice track. What have we got here? We've got a pretty simple arrangement. We've got an electric piano here at the top. We've then got a couple of beats here, one that starts off here and then another that comes in a little bit later. We've got the Liverpool bass here. We've got the cinematic strings. We've got an acoustic here. A guitar that comes in, one of the Smart Instrument guitars, and then we got a whole bunch of vocals, and I really love the way the vocals have been layered up here. They sound really cool. If we come down here to a section where we got some additional vocals going on, let's come down here and take a listen to that.
5 long years, 2,000 tears is all I've been. Yeah, I hope I find someone right.
So just a really cool, subtle use of the effects in here. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into this one and take a look at exactly what is going on here, because unlike most of the tracks, I don't actually know what effects have been used, how it's been mixed, how it's been recorded. So let's jump in and take a closer look at this track. Now, I love the electric piano here in GarageBand, and I love a good electric piano riff, and that is what this song is built around. Listen to that nice, mellow electric piano there. We'll turn that up a bit. Just got a nice rhythm, a really good melody. Really well played. So the piano is then joined by our beat here. So let's just take a listen to this one. So this is the lights and sound beat that's been added in here. Again, a very simple sort of beat, and all we've got on this one is a little bit of EQ that's been added in here. So we've just got a little bit of a bass hit there on that beat that has come in there. If we bring that back with the piano, a really nice bed for this track. And then we also have the bass. And again, the Liverpool bass, you might think, well, this is a bit of an R&B track. Why would we use a Liverpool bass? I actually love the bass in here because it's such a subtle sound. Take a listen. It's just that standard bass. I know if you've used GarageBand, we've all used it, but it works so nicely with the electric piano. And then when the beat joins us here, it just really works well together. So really like the use of the virtual instruments that we have here. As I mentioned, we've got another beat that comes in here, which adds to this. So let's take a listen to that. So we've got our electric piano doing some sort of faster parts there, and then we've got our hi-hats and our other beat matching in there as well. We also have some cinematic strings and some guitars. So let's just take a listen to what they do by themselves. They just add a nice little motif in here, which I really like. Again, simple, but I love the sort of melody, the way that the melodies intertwine in here and create a really cool sound. So let's, again, before we jump into the vocals, let's take a listen to what all of these sound like together in this section. Very, very cool. So we've got a great instrumental bed, and that sort of follows through. Again, it's super simple, but super effective. So excellent work here done by the artist Vini on this one. Now, the vocals. Let's take a look and a listen at what's going on here with the vocals. So we have our main lead vocal here, and the vocals here have been chopped up a little bit. So we'll solo this and take a listen to the start of these vocals.
Only insane. I haven't asked for much since you've been away.
Now, the thing is, you're probably hearing there's some pops and clicks and a few bits in there, but I love the vocal performance on this one. And if we bring it back into the mix, you virtually barely hear that. And I wanted to play that. And sorry if you didn't want me to play it solo there, Vini, but I wanted to play this because people overemphasize how important it is to have a really clean audio track. Now, I'm going to give you some tips if we wanted to do this differently, but let's just play this together now with the rest of the beat.
I haven't asked for much since you've been away.
So yeah, what I would probably do with this is maybe try and record it more in one part there, or use some automation we could do, and I've got videos about automation that we could do in between those just to remove some of those pops and clicks. But again, the thing is, don't lose sight of what you're trying to do here, which is to create a passionate song and something that's going to sound good. So let's take a quick look at what we have on the vocals here. We'll come into plugins and EQ. So we've got a little bit of compression on this one. We've got some drive. Actually, there's no drive. The overdrive's on there, but it's turned off. We've got a bit of track reverb, but no EQ. A very, very sort of basic setup here for our vocal sound, and it sounds really good. Again, the lesson here is don't overdo it. I think this already sounds really, really good. We've then got another vocal here, which is basically just on a separate track here that joins us in this part. Let's take a listen.
5 long years, 10,000 tears.
And we've got some overlapping vocals, so it actually starts down here, and again, we've got similar sort of setup here on this one, bit of compression, a bit of reverb, and then the same up here. So when you have that, again, a great technique to use if you're crossing over between two vocal parts, we can do this, and you can see this here.
5 long years, 10,000 tears.
So a very cool technique used there. Really, really enjoy that. Now, we've got these little parts here, which are really cool. We're using the Dreamy as the preset here. And if we come in here and take a look at the plugins and EQ on this one, yep, we've got the chorus on this, and we've got some track reverb, and it sounds really cool. Take a listen. And again, you can hear that when this has been recorded, you've got a little bit of the background noise there, because you can hear the instrumental, you can hear the beat there. But again, when you bring it back into the mix, it really doesn't matter, because it's playing what you're hearing anyway. So take a listen.
Oh yeah, can you say the same?
Now, I'm not sure what has been used to record on this one. There is a little bit of background noise in there that's it's distracting a little bit from the vocal. Again, it doesn't really matter. I don't want for everyone to be thinking, hey, you need to change everything, you need to have a perfect setup. Absolutely not. This is still an absolutely great song. I really enjoy it. What I would suggest, though, is we can actually use the Bruce-free noise reduction plugin. If you do have a vocal like this, so if we come back to here and we hit play.
Only insane.
Now, you might be hearing there's just a little bit of that high-pitched background noise there. So let's just see if we've got any extra space. Yeah, we do. So we can just stretch out the vocal at the start there. And let's see if we've got enough noise here to sample and use the Bruce-free plugin.
Oh.
Yep, that's going to work well. So what we could do here is if you were concerned about that and you wanted to check out the Bruce-free noise reduction plugin, you could do that and come in here to your plugins and EQ. You could go to edit, and we'll just get rid of the effect EQ. That generally doesn't do a whole lot, and we'll add in a plugin here. We'll add in Bruce-free. So if we tap on that one now, there's our listen button ready to be hit. So we'll try and just play this and hit the listen button just at the start there and see if we can remove some of this sound.
Only
All right, so I just hit the listen button there just for that first kind of second. And now if we play this back with that noise reduction, you can hear that we don't really have that at the start. So let's just take another listen. If we turn the plugin off and take a listen, you can hear that there's a little bit of noise there, yeah? Whereas if we have the plugin back on and we hit play, and yeah, it's removed a lot of that noise. So it's an option that you have there. If you don't have a microphone or you don't have a heap of cash to afford like studio treatment or room treatment or, $300 for microphones and interfaces and the like, yeah, sometimes just using a plugin like this, like Bruce Free, can actually really help you out. So that is all come together really, really nicely, and I love how this track has been put together. The other thing that we've got here is the vocals that have been cut up a little bit, and I do like vocals being done in multiple takes, but again, what I would probably do is use a little bit of automation just to link these together so that we don't have a lot of the gaps and things that are there. But once again, I keep saying this and keep coming back to this, but keep in mind that once you have your whole mix together, it sounds really, really cool. So let's come in here towards the end where we've got a bunch of vocals and the rest of our track and hit play.
5 long years, 2,000 tears is all I've been. Yeah, I hope I find someone right for me.
Very, very cool. Really loving this track, and I can't wait for it to be released. I love it when folks are producing great songs like this here in GarageBand. All right, I'm going to show one more thing, and then I'm going to finish up by playing this whole track because you need to take a listen to it. It is awesome. And that is that what we could choose to do here is with our guitar here that we have here, that we've got here. It's actually the retro wah. It's an acoustic, but yeah, it's the retro wah guitar. What you could choose to do is actually push this through an amp sim to get a more realistic guitar sound. I've showed this in a previous video, but I'll show you quickly here again. What I would do is I would first duplicate this track. I would then copy and paste the original down here into our second track. So we're just going to copy that. We're going to line up our playhead here, go to that track, tap, hit paste. So now we've got an exact copy of that one. We'll mute that one and leave that there as a bit of a backup, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge this track. I'm going to tap here on the right here on the guitar icon. I'm going to tap merge, and then I'm going to tap merge in the top right corner. It's going to duplicate the song. It's then going to merge that track into an audio recorder track. So we're going to lose the ability to edit it and to do anything else with it. But what we have now is right down the bottom here, and yes, it has normalized it as well, so it's going to be super loud. So we'll turn that down a little bit, and if we just solo this track here, not mute, solo, and hit play, so there's our virtual guitar. But what if we wanted to maybe give this a bit more realism? Well, what we could do is we could tap the plus button down here. We could dial in one of our guitar amps here. So let's come across to our guitar amps. Here we are, right there. And let's just go more sounds. And what if we did something like, we'll go to guitar. We'll go to like maybe a crunchy guitar, something like this. Maybe something like the Bohemian Rock here. And what we can now do is if we go back to our track view, we can grab the original audio here and slide it on. Don't hold it down, that'll play it, but slide it on down and put it onto this track. So now let's take a listen to what this sounds like through our amp sim. And if we put it back in our mix,
May not know, but then you will see that we were meant to be. Yeah.
and there may be other amps that you want to play around with and try out and maybe put some distortion through there or a cleaner sound. But yeah, if you're using virtual instruments and you're thinking, it just sounds a bit too generic, I want it to sound different, then you can go ahead and do that. And again, you don't need to use any fancy plugins, just use GarageBand's built-in amp simulator here and you can get that sound. But I really don't think that in this track we probably even need it. So we're going to mute that one out there and come back here and take a look. So I hope you enjoyed this little look behind behind the scenes. I really want to thank Vini for sending this track through. If you do ever want to share your own tracks with me, by all means, hit me up on email. My email address is down in the description below. You can take a look at that. You can also join me over on Patreon if you do want to support the channel here and have a little bit more access to me for as little as $1 a month. You can join the patrons over on Patreon as well. But let's finish up here now by taking a listen to this track, Only Insane by Vini.
Say the same. Bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, it will be known till I reach my death. You may not know, but then you will see that we were meant to be. 5 long years, 10,000 tears is all I feel. I find someone right for me. Only insane, insane, insane. Those good memories haunt me in dreams. Took the fault for days, that you are the blame. Bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, it will be known till I reach my death. You may not know, but then you will see we were meant to be. 5 long years, 10,000 someone right for me. It's you who made me this way.